everybody? What's up, everybody? Let's talk about it. It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about everybody. It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is the Good Lord Bird, episode 5. All right, we winding down on this journey that we're going on, this historical journey. It's been fun. It's been real. This episode had a little bit more serious weight to it because we're getting down to the last moments, but it still were a lot of funny moments. I don't want to waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we start off with Frederick Douglass. He's taking his portraits, and as we know with the character of Frederick Douglass, the real life person of Frederick Douglass, he said that he wanted to be the most photographed man in history or whatever, and he dresses very nice, he dresses up. He says he doesn't want to play into the smiling Negro tropes. In his photographs, he was always known for being very stern, not smiling, because he didn't want to play into that smiling, happy Negro, trope that they had during that time. He even speaks of the camera like,
the camera loves me, and I love the camera, honey.
so we can see that he might be just a little bit vain too. He just might like seeing himself on camera too a lot. We see all the men while he's doing this monologue or this voiceover. We see all the men of the series being taken, nice pictures being taken of them or whatever. So I don't know if this is just like an imagination or this was happening in real life, but it was nice to see Onion dressed up like a young man, the young man that he is, instead of like a damn girl the whole season. Now we got Onion and Cook, they rolling together, and they have gotten a donation from somebody named Elizabeth, and they have to go down and see about everything that's going on, in the town like they're supposed to. They pull up on the place, and Hook is like, oh my God, that is a lovely sight to see. He see fine old Thickums, okay, over there. He going over to get his Mac on, and Onion goes on and on about how Cook is a good, for talking and mingling with the locals and stuff. He's a handsome scoundrel, he always got, he trying to holler at the ladies, but he talk too damn much, okay? He's sure to tell the business to the whole damn town. And Brown said nobody would believe him though, so he's not really worried about that. So this whole exchange they have at the horse really distressed my spirit, because he tells Onion to hop down off the horse because he's gonna bring this girl to wherever they're gonna go, because she's gonna bring them to a cheap place to rent. Now Onion knows they have to rent somewhere that's like close to the road, not too close to the road, but close to the road, and somewhere away from the, from the Harper's, the ferry or whatever they trying to derive. It gotta be in the right spot. And so where she's taking them to is too far away, but he was like, it's cheap to rent, so we're gonna stay or whatever. He says that after they get there. The white woman was very ignorant and very disrespectful. This is reflective of a lot of that kind of stuff that happened during that time. White women, they didn't have any power, so a lot of times they asserted their power through oppressing namely black women, but black people in general. They would lie and say somebody raped them. They would, like I said, Onion says something to her, and she's like,
you better get your black ass off that horse before I rip your arm off of you and beat you with it.
I was like, damn, girl, like, this what we doing? Damn, out the gate, okay? Because she always said, like, you got a nigga that's talking back, so she's one of those hard down racists, okay? And Cook seems to pay that no never not mind. He has no issue with that whatsoever. So I'm side-eyeing Cook a little bit too. I don't like him. The things you'll do for some poontang. He even says Onion is looking for some colors to hide. A white man, you just gonna tell everything? Like, you just gonna tell the whole plan? She's like, child, they got some colored people in the town, that's, a little bougie, a little uppity, but they ain't worth nothing. And so, down there in Washington for them, they got about, this about how many black people. If you go over here, they got this many black people or whatever. So he just leaves him. He says, well, you supposed to go do your job or whatever, right? So go ahead and do it. So he just leaves him in the middle of nowhere with this girl so he can go screw. Onion walks up to the plantation, and they like, a woman is like, what is a little boy dressed up like a little girl doing over here? Like, what is you doing with the little sissy outfit on you got on? And so he says, I'm looking for some friends. I'm just trying to find out the lay of the land. And so then he leans into the woman, is like, do you know if anybody on this plantation is trying to learn how to read? And she's like, I don't know about that. Hell no. And she walks away. And her husband comes up, and he's like, hey, why you here? Who are you? Why you up here? Giving him the rundown. He's like, I'm lost or whatever. And he like, what's the word? And he like, what you mean? He said, are you a runaway? He was like, I'm not exactly a runaway. Okay, well, you on the gospel train? And he said, I'm here to hide the bees. And he starts talking about, he's been sent by John Brown to gather all the bees, to hide, right? And so the dude is like, John Brown is dead. I don't know what you're talking about. You need to stop lying. And that person that you was talking to, that's my wife. Y'all in the wrong place. If y'all trying to hide some black people or get some black people together or whatever, this is not the right place. You need to watch your words, and you need to stay off this property before you get everybody up here hung. And so he pushes them off the property. Onion goes into town, and while he's walking through the town, he sees some children sitting in a cage right there on the street. And he's distressed about this or whatever. Because remember, last week he had a little problem connecting because he hadn't faced a lot of the hardships that a lot of these slaves have faced. And now he's getting to see that it's bigger than you, baby. Just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean that this is something that needs to stop. He's wandering through the streets and he helps this old lady who has some stuff all out of her bag. And she's like, listen, I don't know, you need to get from around here because the word on you is not kind. You trying to get people hung. Ain't nobody trying to deal with you. Like, get on away from here. See, the man from the plantation snatches him up again and he asks him to read a paper. So he reads this paper. It's from his master. And he's saying basically like, don't give him no extra this. Don't give him no extra that. Don't be giving him no biscuits or whatever because he already too damn big. So he was upset like,
ain't this some bullshit? Like, I've been doing all this X, Y, and Z, and this what he gonna write about me?
So now he knows he can read. So he's like, why did John Brown send you here? He said something like, John Brown gonna curdle your cheese after he know you treated me like a liar. And I said, don't nobody care about no. I shut up. And he says, John Brown is a brave man if he's doing this, but John Brown is also a fool if he's doing this. He's sticking his head directly in the lion's den. Well, John said that to kill a lion, you got to chop off his head, or a tiger, or whatever it was, a bear, whatever, child. You got to chop off his head. Back at the house, this woman is knocking down the damn door, okay? We got a nosy neighbor on deck. Onion answers the door, and he says that, listen, Master Cook, he sleep. He not up for no visitors. So she said she looking for Miss Mary because Miss Mary is her sister-in-law. Now, that was that lovely sight he pulled up on. Okay, so Miss Mary got a husband, and Miss Mary up here humping and bumping with Cook. Onion is like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. He ain't up in here. She like,
Negro, I know you up in here. I know you lying. I know you lying.
I don't know where he is, but I will give him the message that you came by, okay?
So as soon as he turns around and this woman walk away, we can hear them banging the whole house down. Later on, we see that, or as some time has passed by, I'm assuming this is weeks or whatever that have passed, we see that he has taught Onion how to gamble. He's teaching him all the different gambling tricks and, you know, tricks of the trade or whatever. He tells him that there was a Negro asking about him at the train station. And he says, I told him I'm the captain's man or whatever, but he said he only wanted to talk to you. So he said these colored people around here, they seem a bit distrustful or whatever. So, you know, you need to go. And he was like, well, you gonna go with me? He says, no, he asked for you to come along. So, I mean, even though Cook is low-key, you know, kind of messing everything up a little bit, messing things up, he's still on the right side. So I don't think he's a traitor or anything. So then we see the rail man. So later on that night, we see that Onion meets up with the rail man. This is the railroad man. And he says, you ain't nothing but a little bitty boy. Basically, like, why are you dressed up like a damn girl? Okay? He's like, look, I'm just a messenger. I'm sent by John Brown. I'm here to hide the bees. And so he tells him, basically, you have come to the wrong town. It's only about 1,200 people here, and most of those people are women and children. If he had went 60 miles to Baltimore or to Washington, D.C., you know, those people be ready to fight. But right up in here, y'all outnumbered on all sides. And he says, well, John wants the guns. That's why he here. He feel like black people going to rise up and get up, you know, when they see that they have guns. And he was like, child, listen, these people can't rise up no damn guns. And he talking about the plan going to be a surprise. He talking about ain't going to be no damn surprise, child. I've already heard about the plan from the general. And these men can't handle no damn guns. They can hardly handle what they got going on right now, much less some guns. So he says, I'm going to pray for John Brown, but he going to die, baby. Okay, that's what he going to die doing. This is crazy. He says, well, I thought you could get, you know, the colors here. You can get people here. He needs you to bring people here on the train. And he says, listen, I be getting 1 or 2 people on the Underground Railroad. Like, that's cool or whatever. How much people he got? He says, he got about 16 people. He's like, that's not hardly enough people, child. He says, but I can't, it's hard for me to get 100 or 200 people out here. You know, that's different. He got a guy. Okay, a guy that run the numbers. And if they grease his palm a little bit, he will get the word out. Now, colored people do it. You know, slave and enslaved. Enslaved and free, excuse me. They do it so he can get the palm, he can get the word out to everybody. So, how much money we gonna need? We're gonna need about $500. And he's like, damn, $500? And he like, hold up. He's like,
1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5.
And the rail man is like,
oh shit, y'all ready to get it popping for real? Like, y'all trying to get it. Oh, okay.
I didn't know you was ready. So he ready. He give him the money, and the rail man just walks away. Next day, Onion he's praying in the morning, and guess who arrives? We see the shadow walking up. John Brown has arrived, and he speaks John 14 to him as soon as he opens the door. And he said he take it that he's been quiet about the business. And this was a bad place to rent because, you know, the army, he tells them the army is coming. Basically, it's deep off in somewhere. And so we see the crew pull up, and we see everybody getting out the car, right? Rob gets out too, and he like, damn, you look older, like you look different or whatever. And he notices, and then we see John Brown's family, because remember I told you his whole family participated in this raid in some capacity, right? So we see John Brown's family pull up, and we see Anna jump out, honey, and Anna is just free and effervescent. She hugs Onion like Onion is her sister, okay? And you can tell he is smitten right away. So they have a meeting, and in the meeting, John Brown says they need to hide upstairs during the daytime, period. They do not go out into the front yard for no reason. Don't answer the door. And if you need to holler at somebody, you need to wait till it starts thundering before you hollering at people, okay? So Onion helps JB, and he says, what do you think about Cook? Do you think that he told everybody? And he was like, I mean, he probably told a little bit because he do be running his mouth or whatever. And so he asked him, how is the hiding going? And he says, well, listen, I gave the rail man some money. And he's like, oh my gosh, yes, they're going to come by the thousands. I thought when he made that statement, I was like, ain't nobody was coming by no thousands, child. I mean, ever. They wasn't coming by no thousands ever, even if you would have been successful, John. So I think that his dreams were so big, but reality, you know, hadn't set in for this person. He says Annie will school you. She's going to teach you, you know, about hygiene, feminine hygiene, because, you know, it might not be your time yet, but look like it's probably coming up on you pretty soon. And she's going to teach you about some books. And he was like, I thought it was, you know, no book greater than the Bible. She was like, oh, there's Shakespeare and there's this and there's that. I'm going to teach you about all of that stuff. So we go on with Onion and Annie. He is just falling in love with Miss Annie. She's just so sweet. He said he had never met a girl like her before because all the women he met be trying to swindle men, you know, smiling in your face. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. They up there cleaning themselves or whatever. And so she's trying to teach him, okay, my mama said face, pits, the bottom of your feet, and your privates. Okay, face, feet, pits, and privates. That's what she said. I said, all right, wash the important parts because I know they was funky, baby, during that time. A lot of times when I watch these period pieces, the main thing that be going through my mind is like, how do y'all be having sex with each other when I know everybody is musty? Everybody stinks. Everybody smells. Everybody, baby. Everybody. I like everybody, okay? Like, woo! You can see they're trying to figure out who's gonna take the bath first because the tub is already full. So they like, go ahead, go ahead, Onion, you take the bath. And they're like, no, go ahead, Anna. So Anna decides she's gonna take the bath first. Now Onion turns around, he don't look at her naked, but she gets up in the pool and you know he about to lose his mind, baby. I know his little wee-wee was on hard, okay? So he don't even know what to tell. He is overwhelmed, he is verklempt. Okay, they talking about babies and they talking about just women stuff and they saying, oh, you know, you need to go ahead and get undressed or whatever. Hurry up and get him dressed. He's like, oh, I don't need a bath. I don't need a bath. And they're like, don't act like that. And he says, I'm sorry. You know, I'm just shy. You know, I'm sorry, y'all. I've never been undressed around a white person before. And so they's like, oh, it's okay. Boy, if you don't take them clothes if you don't take them clothes off and get relaxed, you know it's gonna be all right or whatever. But he leaves out of the room. He gets out of that situation. The next morning, we see that the nosy neighbor comes by once again, and Annie answers the door, and she greets her very nicely. And she says she's coming over there looking for Cook because you know they say he here, but she can't never catch up with him or whatever. And she like, well, you know, he comes and goes. He works on the mines and everything. But you know, it's a rumor mill going around that you know he messing with my sister-in-law. And my sister-in-law, she married to my brother now, and my brother gonna come back here and fuck it up. Okay, I'm just letting y'all know when he find out what's going on, he about to come up here and run up in this shit. Okay, and she's like, oh, I mean, rumors, girl, rumors. Look at all these rumors, my God, surrounding me every day, my Lord. He gives her some biscuits or some fruit, some bread, something, and say,
here you go, baby. Nourish yourself with something other than the wicked words of others.
I said, Get her together, mama. Get her together. Then we see Onion talking about how much he enjoyed the talks with her about books with Annie, about books, and you know, they were just living and he felt bad because he was living a lie. And you know, when he's going through the books and he says, you know, nobody sees the real you as a Negro, basically. Being with her, the outside doesn't matter so much as the inside or whatever. He says, she asked him, well, what he wants to be in his life. And he says, well, he likes to sing. And, you know, he would imagine that he would get a guitar or fiddle and he would just sing forever. And she says, why didn't you tell me you can sing? You can sing or whatever. Sing a song right now. So he started singing Michael Row Your Boat Ashore. It was a cute little song, Hallelujah. And they started singing together. And it was a cute little moment, almost where they could like almost kiss each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be cute. And so she tells him that she dreams of starting a school to teach poor kids. And she tells him, well, you know, if I have that school, then, you know, you could teach music at that school. And she was like, man, if you were a boy, I would marry you. So you can tell that she has feelings for him too. But obviously she don't know how to place those feelings because she probably likes boys. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe she like girls. I don't know. Maybe, child. Who knows? What y'all think? Robert comes outside and see what's happening. He like,
hey, come over here for a second, Onion. Come here, let me holler at you.
So he like, what is you doing? What is you doing with her? First of all, you need to watch yourself because your mustache is coming out. Okay, so this is the captain's son. You already know what time it is. Don't forget who you are. As much as I don't like Robert, I feel like he's pessimistic and he's very negative all the time. I do feel like they need somebody like him to snatch Onion out of the clouds sometimes and make you realize who you are and what time it is in history, sir. Like, don't get too ahead of yourself. So he says, I imagine she wouldn't be so happy and so sweet on you if she knew that you was a liar. So I'm gonna need for you to chill out. Okay, so we see Onion getting dressed the next morning before he's putting on that dress that he puts on, and he kind of pretends to be Frederick Douglass, like the man that he is. It was nice to see the boy chest and see, you know, it's a boy. Like, the cognitive dissonance is a little difficult for me. So we see that they're doing a play for the guys. You know, it's a Shakespearean play or some type of play they're doing, and the guys seem to be entertained for them. And it was a nice little woman. She says, for no woman owns her or whatever. So I thought that was cute. And here go the neighbor knocking at the damn door again, child. So everyone scatters this time. I'm like, I don't know how y'all hiding the fact that people in this old rickety ass house when y'all 17 people moving around the house or whatever. This time she answers the door. And she offers the woman some lemonade. Our house is not really ready for company, but would you like some lemonade? She like, no, you know, I'm never. I see you out here cooking, and you know, you got the laundry up here. It's a whole lot of shirts out here. And she says, well, I have my father and my brother, you know, they wears a lot of shirts, you know what I'm saying? They change their shirts like twice a week. So, you know, they really keep me busy with the wash. She was like, oh, because I mean, you know, a shirt for my husband will last like 2 weeks. I said, bitch, I know it's musty. My God, the must. My Lord, Jesus, the smell, Lord. She tells her that, you know, Mr. Cook is not there now because he's a minor, you know what I'm saying, with the father. He's a minor, so he don't be there like that. That's why she can't never catch up with him. And she says, well, Mr. Cook sure got away with the girls. So you mean to tell me he's working the mines in the daytime and then he working the taverns on the weekend? And she was like, oh, well, you know, child, he working a lot. I mean, the times is hard. You know what I'm saying? She asks about Onion. Is she a free or is she a slave? And he says, well, I'm in bondage, but you know, you couldn't find a more person that's just happy in the world. She was like, I heard about you. Don't you lie to me. I heard that you down there at the railroad riling up Negroes or whatever. He says, my husband overheard that the darkies are planning something big. So Cook was basically down there running his damn mouth at the tavern, and he done accidentally slipped up and somebody done overheard some things he has said or whatever. After this woman left, you know, Onion is scared, and so he was saying that he wished that she wouldn't hug him because she grabbed his hands, and he's just like looking at her like, you know, man, I really want to smash you. I just want to kiss you like I'm in love with you. And so he's like, I don't want her to hug me because she would have felt the love shooting out from me. I said, oh, you're dancing real close. You're making it hard for me. That was too high. We see the things heaven sent. So we see this is the last meeting with Frederick Douglass and John Brown. He gives him the whole plan. He runs it down to him. Fred says, what makes you think that this would work? And he was like, you said it could work. Like, I wrote you a letter and you said this was going to work. He said, I said it should be done. I didn't say it could be done. He's like, Fred, when they hear you took the armory, it's going to like really light a fire under these people. And he's like, yes, but you know, it would, but I'm not going to take it by suicide. Onion is like, well, maybe you just a punk. Maybe you just punked out. You just can't do this or whatever. Like, period. He was like, or maybe I just don't want to die a martyr, which is exactly what John Brown ended up being. He's like, everything is going to begin at Harper's Ferry. And then, you know, we're going to be, you know, it's going to go out from there. He says, listen, you are a fanatic and I am a realist. We can achieve the impossible together. We can do this together. You know, the bees will swarm for you. They will. And Fred says, I can't do it, friend. I'm not doing it. And historically, this is the most accurate thing I can find in history of their last meeting. Now, some people are saying that he said he would do it and then he backed out at the last minute. That's what Cook says. But as we can see from Cook's character, that he probably was full of shit. So I think that Frederick probably told him no at their last meeting. He wasn't going to do it. And that's why this failed. So as they get ready to leave, one of the guys says, listen, I'm going to go ahead and go with Old Man Brown. And Frederick is like, what? And he was like, it's time for me to stand for something. Okay, it's time for me to go. So he went in to go stand for him. And JB, and that's how we knew, John Brown knew that he was going to die after this meeting was over with. You know, he said he's going to die for the Negro because of the Negro. Because to have Frederick Douglass maybe change his mind. Not, who knows if this would have actually changed the course of history, right? But have Frederick Douglass maybe banded together with him, maybe they could have succeeded. Maybe they could have got further along than what they did. But I do truly think this was bad planning because like the rail man said, you came into a town that had mostly women and children. So you already outnumbered in that town. So how do you think surrounding areas was going to get around when you changed the date, which is about to happen? John Brown, he's in total despair at this moment. And Onion tells him, I just feel like God is with us. You know, something is telling me that God is with us. And he's like, you are so kind. He was like, you know, it's one thing where you just shook with disappointment. He said, if you can touch it, you can feel God opening the doors of your heart. So at this moment, he's really realizing that he's not going to survive this. If he wants to continue to do this, that he's going to have to give his life. He's not going to survive. The Onion concludes that Fred was a parlor man. I don't think he ever thought he was going to fight. He's not a fighter. And John Brown just cries. Like, he just cries more than I've ever seen him cry. And my heart went out. I cried with him. Like, my heart was like, oh my gosh. We got another problem, honey. Miss Anna say that Miss Huffmeister done told the sheriff about what's going on, and the sheriff is coming tomorrow to, you know, get them out of town. So he says we got to move up the date to the thing, because the guys are like, let's just call it off. Let's get out of here. By the time they be here, we'll be gone or whatever. And he's like, no. We need to do it. We're going to move up the date. So this is ultimately what messed up his plan. Tomorrow night, they're going to attack the Harper's Ferry. And Cook was like, well, why don't we just kill the sheriff? Shut up. Okay, like, you can't just come in town and kill no sheriff and think y'all going to make it out alive. Onion goes to the railman and he asks the railman to rouse whoever he can get by tomorrow night. And so the railman is like, what? Okay, he was like, choke him up. He was like, boy, what? He said, I can't do it this fast or whatever. Like, I thought I had a month. I just got the ball rolling or whatever. And he was like, listen, I just came here to get the message. And he's like, okay, well, fine. I'm going to need a signal. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to get as many people I can. But I'm going to need a signal or something to let them off the train so that they can fight. I need a password. So they decided that he's going to say who goes there. And he's going to say Jesus is walking. It got to be something normal. He got this passcode. So he goes back. So Onion goes back. So when he gets back, he see everybody moving with purpose, right? People is getting things together. People are, you know, getting ready for this fight to begin. So before he can get himself together, they say Onion, they want him to go back to the homestead with the wife and the kids, right? So he didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to John Brown. And so the next morning we see John Brown reading the Bible, and we also see Onion is riding with the family and they singing songs or whatever. And so he remembers 1 second, he remembers the password that he didn't give to whoever he was supposed to give it to. So he jumps up on the thing and he rips his shirt and he's like,
I'm a man. Okay, I'm a man now.
He says, I love you and I ain't gonna never see you again. And he jumps off the thing and he runs to go tell him the password. Because he said he couldn't fathom the thought of John Brown dying, you know, on account of him. And he didn't die on account of him. He died on account of his own foolishness. But he was a great man. And I'm really starting to wanting to read a book about John Brown, because I really feel like he was one of the first people who was ready to put their life on the line for the freedom of black people. and not for a selfish reason like money or, you know, political reasons or anything like that. Like, he just honestly was a good person. He felt that God created everybody equal, and once they started, and he was okay, you know, minding his business until they started just tearing up, destroying his children's life and burning up his kids' farms, and you know what I mean. Now he was like, now we need to do something. I don't need to be silent. I don't need to be complacent. I need to get up and do something. Now what he did was radical, because we talked about this last week. He was a wild boy, baby. He was out here doing things that you probably shouldn't do, but at the same time, they was out here doing shit you definitely shouldn't do. Just saying. So I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I said last week, don't nobody care until people start dying and stuff start getting messed up. Okay, so I do feel like John Brown was a great man, and even Frederick Douglass felt that same way after he passed away and was killed. Frederick Douglass spoke about him many times. So you know, even he felt like he had possibly made a mistake, or he could see how brave this man was and courageous. So, like, I low-key want to read a book about this dude now, okay? So, I thought this episode was good. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear all your thoughts about this episode, and I will holler at you next week. We got 2 episodes left. Peace.